Scrappy people, it's Traci Reed here today, and I am coming at you with Sketchy Sunday number 12, and we are starting in Silhouette Studio so that I can show you how to use the free silhouette file that is available on the Sketch blog, or the blog sketch post. I included this silhouette it's a PNG file, so you can use it for anything, but I'm using it in Silhouette so that you could follow this sketch more easily. And you saw the sketch down in the bottom right hand corner. And I want to show you how you can take digital papers, and in this case digital 4x6 patterned cards, and use them in with this template or any template. So I have in Silhouette Studio, I have released the compound path that was holding all of these together by right clicking on it and just hitting release compound path. And now I'm just dragging the patterned cards into Silhouette and dropping them on the black template file that I want them to be on. And so I've got Monday through Sunday, and you can see that Sunday, Saturday, and Friday are upside down because of just the way that I compiled the images, and I'm going to realize that in a second because I do want these to go in rainbow order. So I've got red, or like coral, pink, yellow, green, blue, blue, and so the Friday I'm just going to do a multicolored, or it's actually going to be Sunday, but I'm going to do a multicolored one. And now I am clicking and dragging to select the box plus the numbers or the letters, and then I'm hitting make compound path so that they become one item again, and that'll make it easier for me to do what I'm doing here and rotate them around. Now I've realized that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday were out of order, so I'm changing the patterns that I want to print in each of these boxes just by clicking and dragging and dropping again. I'm going to adjust this pattern because I want those arrows to be facing up. So I'm going to open up the fill panel, which is this one up here, and I'm going to click on pattern, and then I'm just going to rotate the pattern, and I'm going to do that by clicking these boxes until I get the right one. This is like rotate 90 degrees. There we go. Now it's facing up. And then lastly, I need to replace Sunday. So the last thing that I need to do now is make these compound paths again, but then I'm just going to print and cut. So I need to make sure that these all fit in the print and cut window. So I'm going to rotate them back the way that they were. There we go, make compound path. I'm going to select them all and rotate with this green little ball. And then I'm going to turn on the print and cut marks. So I'm going to go up to the top page setup, turn on the crop marks, registration marks, turn them down to the smallest setting so that they're not so far inset. And then all I have to do now is print and then run it through my Silhouette machine. So that way I don't waste any paper. I don't cut out whole pieces of paper that I have already printed. I can specifically choose what I want to print and cut, and that'll save me money and time. It did it all for me. So this layout is about my return to my workout schedule, basically. For the last 3 or 4 months of 2021, I really took it easy. Some might say I was a little bit lazy, but you know, pandemic life. So I am back on board as of the first of the year. So I wanted to do a layout about my movement every day. And what I do is I go to the gym every other day and I go for a run every other day, basically. So these are the pictures that I have Monday through Sunday. Happen to be a 4-run week. And so I've got these all ready to go. They're all like their own separate pieces, and I can start putting them on the background paper. And what I decided to do was to go with a white background paper because I tried a few patterns and they were all just too much with these various colors. And also I'm going to build large clusters on top of all of these colored strips, so I wanted there to be a nice neutral background. I don't always love scrapbooking on white, but this works. The only problem is it felt like everything was floating. So what I'm going to do is use this black background paper, and I'm just going to tear strips for the outside edges of the layout And that's going to make it so that it sort of frames the whole thing and makes it look like it's not, the clusters aren't floating in space. So you'll see what I mean here in a second. It just kind of finishes off the whole foundation of the page and makes it feel less open. I'm not a big white space person, so I like tons of color and tons of pattern on my pages. If you've watched my videos, you know that. So this just kind of makes it feel more cohesive to me. And then what it also does is it creates a background for some of these letter cutouts so that like that Monday is on black, but the Tuesday is on white. So it gives it a little bit of variation for the clusters of photos as well. So I like the way that that worked out. So I'm going to stick all these down just like on the sketch, and then I'm going to start building up embellishment clusters around each of the photos. And then I'm also going to add my journaling at the bottom. The sketch calls for a large title, but I'm just going to add a journaling block at the bottom with a word strip over it for my title. I felt like with each of these days of the week on the paper strips that I didn't quite need a huge title. If I didn't want one, it would still work, but since I had very little space after I chose my journaling block, I decided to just use the space at the top of the journaling block and add in a word strip instead. So I thought that this feels like a fresh start worked. So I am using the brand new Filled with Intention collection that just released this weekend. It is currently on sale. It is such a fun collection for New Year's resolutions or any sort of goal smashing activities you happen to be doing. So if you are a planner, it would be a great collection to put in your planner, and I'm going to be doing that this week as well. But I just wanted to create a collection that was, it felt like celebratory, like you already had this accomplished and you were already crushing your goals. And also it works really well for planning too. So this layout is about something in between, right? So I am planning, goal crushing, for like, this is like New Year's resolution, but also I got up off the couch and did it every day, so it's celebratory as well. So that's kind of the vibe that I was going for with this collection, and it worked really well with the subject of this page. Now, of course, you don't have to use this collection with exercise photos. There are tons and tons of goals that you could be tracking and celebrating. I just happen to use it with activities since that's my goal right now, but there's nothing about this collection that says anything about fitness or those sort of goals. So just so you know, you don't have to be an exercise maniac like me to use it. So I decided to go with flowers that matched each of the color blocks for each of these paper strips, but on the ones that didn't have flowers that matched, like the green and the multicolored paper strip, I went with just something to break up the monotone feel of the layout. I'm also using these triangle arrows on their matching color blocks as well. I love this little word strip with the hearts. I thought it would be a good contrast on that white background paper. Then I'm just going to finish up with some, actually these are glittery white stars that I had left over from my December daily. They cut out of one of my cut files, and I just had them sitting on my desk, and there are stars on the sketch, so I decided to put them in and add a little bit more white on top of the color just so that it wasn't too wild and crazy. We had some white to break up all of the color as well. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a mat for this journal block because I felt like it was just kind of sitting there and it didn't look like it was incorporated into the layout. So I took one of the striped pieces of paper and I cut it just slightly smaller than the journal block itself, and then I ripped each side to match the black paper strips on the edges. And that creates somewhere for the journaling block to rest so that it doesn't look like it's just kind of floating in space there. And then I'm going to call it good. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I'd love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci M. Reed. I'd love to see you over there as well. And if you want to pick up the Filled with Intention collection, there is a link in the description box below. All right, thank you.